the MoneyWeb Crypto Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto related. Your host, Kieran Ryan.
Here's something new, a digital token backed by a basket of currencies, including the US dollar, euro, and rand. It was launched in March by tech company Intershare in collaboration with digital asset management group Blue Asset. While the token is being launched initially in South Africa, it is designed for the international market. Now, this is not a stable coin as we understand it. Stable coins maintain a fixed one-to-one peg to a single currency, but IS-21 distributes currency exposure across multiple monetary systems through a diversified reserve structure. We'll find out more about that in a minute. So in time, the digital token will include gold and around 20 reserve currencies. In other words, it's attempting to provide more stability than anything else out there. To find out more, we're joined now by Pierre Oosthuizen, who is CEO of Intershare. Hi, Pierre. Thank you very much for your time. Let's kick off with a quick understanding of what IS-21 is and what it's not. It's not a stable coin. Is it something else entirely?
Yeah, and in the digital world, they labeled all these tokens in a certain manners. So it's not a stable coin because there's a multiple asset basket underneath it. So it's mostly a multi-basket asset a token. That's like you said earlier, that's will eventually be fully backed by 20 currencies and of course gold.
Okay, so who is this aimed at and how do they acquire IS-21, and give us an idea, what's the response been like so far?
Yeah, so far, like I said, our launch was about a month ago. Response has been great. We've had some multiple exchanges worldwide that's already been contacting us. How do we get it online? Institutional, we're talking, direct to institutional. It was designed both for, your retail market and your institutional market. As we all know, currencies, they go up and go down, and that was the whole purpose behind it is for the stabilization of your money, of your funds. And institutions especially, they're very secure about, investing in or underlying currency that actually depreciates or, go down in value due to outside markets. We all know what's going on in the world. People are worried about the dollar. Rand has always been under pressure. So this is more stabilization of your money, multi-baskets. And that's what makes it so unique. And we did design it for another purpose as well. And I'll just touch on it basically. So basically what's happening is every currency that is going to be the underlying asset, let's say dollars, is going to be in America. Rand's going to be sitting in South Africa, pounds in UK, and so on and so on. And the main reason for that is we've got a massive belief, especially that, we all should share in the trade world as we know it, not like, BRICS that is just excluding, certain things. I say we all should, stand together, and work together for this, and by the physical currency sitting in every country of origin, all that people that understand how the financial world works is that institutions, we that asset managers, where the funds are, that is part of that country's GDP. So basically everybody is getting the benefit out of currency that's going to get used for, cross-border transactions, institutional, keeping, for their own funds. And it's very unique. And we designed it especially for that reason, so it stays, very stable. Forex world is quite interesting. One goes up, other one goes down, but 21 linked to it, it is massively stable. The gold portion, we all know what gold is, and the gold portion is purely for us, basically the hedge against the depreciation of currencies. So, that will even, help that part where normal currencies all in the world actually do depreciate, with a certain percentage every year. And the gold just stabilizes that portion as well. So it's very unique. It's very technical in the sense of, developing it. And, when it's all rolled out, it's going to be something, I think, and I know actually that, can really benefit, everybody, every country that's involved, can benefit from it. And that is the goal, and that is what we're going for.
And I guess the name IS21, IS being your company, Intershare 21 being 21 currencies or commodities, because you're going to have gold in there. Do you plan
Correct.
to have the most liquid currencies in there? Would you eventually look at maybe having silver in there as well?
Yeah, for now, it's just for the design part. Like I said, it was designed for the currency stabilization, and that's why the 20 currencies. And we're looking at the top 20 trading currencies in the world, at a certain point. So that means that the currencies are getting used for purchases, around the world, that once it gives the whole world market, stability. So, and that's the top 20, Rand just makes it. I think it's number 20 on that list at this point in time. And of course, it's close to heart because we are South Africans, although it's an international company. Like I said earlier, the goal is purely for stability of depreciation of the currencies. Silver and those things for me is more tradable commodity. So, we'll probably not look at that because then you go into the price, the price argument, and we don't want to do that. We want to be stable, although we can't call it a stable coin because it's got multiple stuff, but it is more stable than any other, token at the moment that's out there.
So if it's not a stable coin, what do you call it?
Like I said earlier, it's not like what I would like to call it a stable coin because technically it is stable, but due to the industry and what they call certain stuff and regulations and MiCA and the Genius Act, it's labeled as a asset, a multiple asset coin or token, and not stable.
Okay, and how will you weight this? The dollar, of course, is extremely dominant in world trade. Is that going to have higher weighting than, let's say, the euro or the pound?
No, that was one of the designs when we started 4 years ago designing the coin. I always said, I call it equality. And I said, everybody will have exactly the same weight. So, when you put in your 210 Rand, for argument's sake, there will be, 10 Rand, basically purchases every underlying, currency and gold at that price at that point in time. So one will definitely not overrule the other one. They all will be exactly the same, exactly the same power, because we never know what's going to happen to either one of them. The world is at a very strange place at the moment. And, now you overweight one currency and tomorrow it falls through, and that's not the idea. We don't want to always believe in this, from my background in investing, don't try and guess what's going to happen in the future, get the most, stable and, secure, what you can get. And that's why we keep the weight exactly the same for everyone.
So what happens if, let's say, the Rand is no longer the 21st or the 20th biggest traded currency in the world and you replace it with something else? How do you handle that?
Yeah, so basically, if that does happen, we're not just going to follow a list and say, oh, sorry, you're 21 now, so we're going to take you off. You're going to have to really, something terrible must happen before we actually do that. And that's not basically what happens is then that specific one's assets basically gets converted to the next one in line, if you want to call it like that. So the equality or the percentage of how it works stays exactly the same. The rands will just be, converted to which other currency there is, and it will just, go on as normal. But like I said, the point is not to switch and swap, currencies. We just use the 20 as the margin, and through our massive research on currencies and our forex work is 20 gives you the most stable line of all the currencies that's trading at the moment. One goes a little bit down, the other one goes a bit up. We're not just going to replace it. It's probably going to stay at the original 20 that is at the moment, except if something massive dramatically happens.
Okay, and have you done back testing on this just to see how you would have fared? If you were, for example, running a corporate treasury or you're an institution parking cash. If you were to buy IS21 and rather than have dollars or rands, you put it into IS21, how would you have done when markets have been in turmoil like they have been in the last few months?
Yeah, so we did some back testing, and our launch actually had a very nice thing to show people exactly, what happens if you had IS21, 10 years ago, because we can only use back data. We don't know what the future is. And if you only had Rand, and it was like some sucking a bit. I'm going to fix exactly before me, but it was like if you had Rands, your value of your investment would have been 40% more than if you originally just kept the Rands, but not all currencies are the same.
What period of time is that?
That was a 10-year period of time. Where if we only had dollars, it probably would have been a little bit more. But like I said, we do not know what the future is, and we don't try and predict it. So we try and make it as stable as possible. Yes, there is certain currencies that actually lost a little bit, if you kept it in that currency. But the same argument goes for, we still don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with that one, So for institutional, the conversations we had for institutionals up until this point, and this is not just South Africa, this is, quite broad. They all prefer, a stable thing that they know what what's going to happen. I mean, if you take a simple mathematic, let's say the dollar crashed completely, that I have no fear of happening, but let's, for this conversation, your value will only drop by 4.76%. And that's massive. But also in the same argument, Forex market works like if one goes down, the other one goes up. So the back test we ran on this whole thing is even if one currency does really do bad, it actually doesn't affect it. It actually stays very, very, very stable.
Now, give us some background about yourself and your team. Are you coming from traditional finance? You did say that you have an investment background, so tell us about that.
Yeah, so I started off. I've been 15 years financially in the financial world. I've been with Discovery, one of the big guys in the investment side, especially. I also did a lot of offshore investment, and that's where I learned and understand, the way the offshore environment works, differently than South Africa. And then I've got my CEO. He is actually 25 years Sanlam, so he comes from that world. My business developer, and she actually has got more than 19 years experience with PSG. My STO and my technical, they come from Adopt IT, more than 10 years experience. My main blockchain developer is in-house. So that's also one of the things I made sure, we do achieve, so we've got our hands and, on the code itself, So there we've got all the experience in all the fields, for an understanding the industry and learning as we go. This is a new world for a lot of people, but it's a massive evolving world, very, very fast. And we are very proud of what we've achieved in the last 8 years, in this new world that that's building.
Okay, so it's been 8 years in the development. Take us through very quickly how somebody purchases the token. How do they store it, and how secure is the infrastructure behind it?
Yeah, so what we did is and from where it goes is with my developing team and everybody else, the safety and security is number one priority. That's always been, that's why the token exists. So we use the Ethereum blockchain. That is the most secure, tested, Web3 development, blockchain that's on this. So it was developed originally on Ethereum network. It probably will, move to the other ones as time goes along. And it's all fully decentralized, and that's one of the nice things about, I call it the new era, against traditional finance. It's fully transparent. Our audit system is on the site itself. Anytime any client, 24 hours a day, can go look at what is the underlying assets, where it is, where does it sit, the real currencies, and, with which asset manager, third party auditor, audits it. And make sure that it does there. We do not have loan right to actually move funds around. The asset manager, has got deal rights when we move any funds around. So we really went into, securing it at all cost. How can they, the clients get a hold of it? So there's two models there. At this point in time, you can go on the site itself and you can actually purchase there using other, USDT, other crypto. The minting and burning process, we've got a very unique structure there as well that we decided to go into. And due to our multiple currencies and countries that we're going to be in, we use local exchanges in every country for the minting and burning. Now, minting and burning is, for the people who doesn't know, that's why basically, if you buy one and you sell one, you mint and you burn. So that we use the local exchanges, also for exposure, and there's also not just one point of entry. So we also, in that way, we work with the expertise out there. Our main local one is Africa's Dalar. Then we also got the biggest, blockchain management company that's also involved with us, called Fireblocks. Also for transparency purposes, for the keys that gets held, when it comes to all this whole process. No human is involved when it comes to mint and burners, all on smart contracts. So every layer has been built for 100% security and transparency for the clients, especially institutions, institutions that, do going to use us in the future. They got full transparency, 24 hours a day, where's the funds, what is it doing, where does it sit, in all senses of the way.
Okay, so if somebody buys a token, will that token have a price, or do they, if I'm investing, let's say 1,000 Rand, am I getting 1,000 Rands worth of converted equally into these different 21 assets?
Yeah. So basically what happens is, on day one, when we started the whole project, we had to start at some point, so we used $1 for 1-to-1 for, the first purchase. And then, of course, as the ecosystem or the currency start moving against each other, the price changes as well. So what it does is, as soon as you said, let's say 1,000 Rand, it goes and look, at all 21. If all 21 is in place, it will go look for my 10 Rand. What would it cost me to, what will I get in value of each one of the other ones? And it gets measured back to your own currency, for buying and selling. So that's on the site. It shows it permanently. What is the real value? We are linked to one of the big corporations for where we get our prices from. So it's consistently exactly what the value is, of all the currencies combined, and that's what your buying or selling price is.
And I guess the plan is to take this international and steadily expand the number of currencies you hold in reserve. So at the moment, it looks like you've got about 3 currencies, but you are going to add gold and then the other ones
yes.
that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we actually already added gold. It was about a week or 2 ago. We already added gold. So we're actually sitting already at 4. And the whole plan behind this, or the whole model behind it is, and it's all due to, our banks and asset managers look at stuff. So for every 5 million we reach as the coin grows, we add a next one. So every 5 million US, not rands, we add the next one, until we got the full basket.
Very interesting. It's no doubt going to be a bit of a game changer for people who are looking for extra stability, treasury managers, and I guess people who just want to hedge themselves a little bit against some of this currency turbulence that we're seeing at the moment. So I wish you the very best of luck with this, and we'll check in with you again and see how things are going.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the MoneyWeb Crypto Podcast, hosted by Kieran Ryan. To listen to our other podcasts, go to moneyweb.co.za or the MoneyWeb app and follow MoneyWeb News for daily updates.